Hello, everybody. This is Sam Alford from Pop Instincts, and welcome back and happy Thanksgiving. Today, we're going to be talking about a Thanksgiving Day tradition, Alice's Restaurant by Arlo Guthrie. I've got the original record right here. Haven't been on in a while. My Pop Instincts have told me to stay away, and I haven't really added anything new. But I thought I would do this today. This is, like I said, the Alice's Restaurant album by Arlo Guthrie, and it was 55 years ago, 55 Thanksgivings ago, yesterday. I'm filming this on Thanksgiving, by the way, of 2020, but it was yesterday that it was on that day in 1965 that Arlo Guthrie and a friend were arrested for being litter bugs, and that led to the story Alice's Restaurant Massacre, and led to the album, and also led to a movie. So I thought I'd talk a little bit about it. What you're seeing here is the cover. This is my father's. And he turned me on to this song first years ago, and I'm going to talk about the other songs on it as well. But first, I want to talk about the song Alice's Restaurant Massacre, which takes up the entire first side of the album. This is the back of the album, and back then, sometimes you'd get some liner notes. Sometimes you see here an article from a paper about the success of Arlo performing this song at the Newport Festival in 1967, and also a little bit of his background. Arlo is the son of the legendary Woody Guthrie, and he's responsible for songs like This Land Is Your Land, a lot of great folk music, and Arlo is of that same ilk. And Arlo started his career concentrating on music, and like I said, if you read the back of the album, it kind of tells you the entire story, how he got his Harold Leventhal is a gentleman he worked for, and he asked Harold to be his manager, and that's exactly what happened. He was working in an office, but anyway, Arlo had a lot of not only did he have the influence of his father Woody, but also guys like Leadbelly, people who came to his house. Pete Seeger, also a big influence in his life. And Arlo recently retired from music, but we'll talk more about that in a minute. I want to talk about Alice's Restaurant Massacre, and this was inspired, as I said, by a true event that happened in 1965, where he had a Thanksgiving dinner, and it was in the church of Alice and Ray Brock. They were friends, and they had recently bought a church, and they built a restaurant, and they had a Thanksgiving dinner there. A bunch of friends got together, and they decided, Arlo, to dump some trash. I don't want to give away the whole story. You should be familiar with the song. If not, you can find it on YouTube. And listen to it, but it's a fun song. Anyway, the whole point of him doing this song, this talking blues song, as it were, and performing it, was basically telling the story about Alice's Restaurant, but is also, keep in mind, this is 1967 when the song came out, Vietnam, very big thing, and it was kind of a protest song of sorts, little, fun protest song, but the whole thing of it is he was actually turned down for joining the military because of his conviction for littering. When he had to show up at the draft board, as he later explains in the song, he didn't want to go. He didn't want to go to war. A lot of people didn't want to go to war, and people were coming up with different ideas and reasons and excuses why they could get out of it. But basically, he was turned down because of this conviction, because he was arrested, he went to court, and he explains in the song, he said, "You've got a lot of nerve, asking me if I've rehabilitated myself and if I'm fit enough to go fight a war and kill people after I was a litter bug, So anyway, he also goes on to say that, could be a way for you to get out of being chosen to go to war. You go in and sing a couple of bars of Alice's Restaurant, they might think you're a little off your rocker, and he goes on to explain from there. This album, before we get on to it, has a whole other side of songs, and they're often overlooked. Arlo was best known for this song. Some later hits included City of New Orleans. Coming into Los Angeles, he performed at Woodstock. But side two started out with Chillin' of the Evening, and my dad played this record a lot when I was a kid, and we always listen to side two, but that's kind of the forgotten side. And these were nice, gentle songs. They had "Chilling of the Evening" was "Ring Around a Rosy Rag" was something my father had me practice singing because I had a problem with my speech. I wouldn't call it an impediment exactly, but I did take speech class when I was in school, and he had me practice by singing "Ring Around a Rosy Rag" several times. Now and then. That's a nice, kind of like a "Hello to the Day" type song. I play that on my. I open my show with that sometimes when because I work in radio, as I've mentioned before. "I'm Going Home," another nice song. Kind of reminds me of "Chillin' of the Evening." The motorcycle song, you probably know more famously from the line "I don't want a pickle, I just want to ride my motorcycle," and "Highway in the Wind" again as well. This album was produced by Fred Hellerman, and this is Arlo's debut album. And he went on to have some success from here, but he's best known in his life for the song "Alice's Restaurant." Because the movie was made in 1969, and it added more to the story. There were some real life incidents that were repeated in the film. You got to meet Alice and Brock. They were played by different actors. The actual Alice does appear in the film in just a bit part. You kind of, you don't see too much of her. And Officer Obie, who's mentioned in the song, plays himself in the film, and he's the arresting officer on that, as the result of the Thanksgiving Day, massacre, I guess you would call it. That's what he calls it, although nobody was really hurt or killed or anything like that. Woody Guthrie is portrayed in the film. Woody had Huntington's chorea, and that was it was a nerve disorder, and he was bedfast since the 1950s, and he was like for almost 20 years. He died from the production of this album till the time it was released. He died by the time the album actually came out, and in the film they do show that he did in fact die. But Pete Seeger makes an appearance in the film, and they do cover. They do cover the death of Woody Guthrie in the film. As I said, Arlo had success after the LP was released, and this is a song that has been brought back several times. He's re-recorded it. He keeps performing it live, or he did up until last year, and I'll explain that in just a second. But he would kind of change it to go along with the times, and it's still a song that's relatable. I remember when I was in music class in middle school, our teacher, Miss Cabin, played this song for us, and everybody got a kick out of it. And I was kind of proud because I was like, I already know this song. I'm 13, but I already know this song pretty well. And this is something I always listen to on Thanksgiving. And I'm sure a lot of other people do. Radio stations have played it and such like that. I used to play it on my radio station, as a matter of fact, but I haven't lately. I always play it here at home now. Arlo recently retired. He suffered a stroke, and it was going to is kind of pretty much taking away his ability to perform. Sadly, but the church was sold. The original church that's mentioned in this. That's shown in the movie or mentioned in the movie. I don't know if it was the actual church or one they just kind of built for the film or used for the film, but anyway, that Alice and Ray had purchased. They divorced in 1968, and years later, Arlo actually bought the church. And to this day, unless something's changed in the last year or so, he still owns that church. And every Thanksgiving, they do have a meal that's open, for the public and those that need it. And it's been a kind of a shelter of sorts for the people of Cambridge, of Massachusetts, who where this restaurant is located. I've always wanted to make a pilgrimage, no pun intended, to that, and maybe someday I will, to have a Thanksgiving dinner that couldn't be beat. But if you get a chance, go ahead and play this cut. If you've got the record, if you got YouTube, if you got Spotify, whatever that you may use, listen to it this Thanksgiving if you haven't already. The film, I'm not sure where it's available right now. Like I said, I just watched it the other night. I just have it, the film, but it's a fun film to check out as well. And I hope you enjoy it. I hope you enjoy this. I hope you've enjoyed Thanksgiving uh, dinner, wherever you may have had it, however many you may have had. And stick close to the channel. I will be updating again soon. So until next time, thank you for watching, and peace.